My name is Nullamore, which means unlovable, except when it comes to my fiance.
I like to
Um,
dance.
and this is Journey Through Miro. And these are my boys. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
So,
Yo.
And they are going to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Le Fiancé, who is now trying to speech jammer himself because I'm trying to make sure that my fiance's audio is fine. It is. Uh, I do many things, one of which is play Le Platinum. I also DM my game Tomes of Time on Saturdays. We might not have a game this Saturday. I haven't heard back from everyone on availability. And honestly, I could use more time. Anyways, so yeah, I'm here.
hello. I am the Black Doctor. I play Belgroth the Dark, now with a lot less hair than I usually do. But you can find me
Looking
on.
fly.
Huh?
Looking fly, my guy.
Thanks, fam. At least somebody likes it. I don't. But you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, all that good stuff. Yeah, check out my stuff. Check out my merch. I haven't bought any merch in a while.
Hello. I am at Del Jitsu on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram in that order. As it currently seems, I have a face for radio, a voice for print, and a mind for not the gutter, but we'll see how tonight goes. And I play the role of Isaiah Yeager, Magus extraordinaire, the paragon of common sense and intellect in this otherwise rapacious party, the Hands of Vengeance.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go make a flesh golem.
He's certainly
Ahem,
extraordinary.
ahem, skin golem.
He's certainly
Doesn't make
extraordinary.
it better.
That'll teach you.
We've gotten greetings from the void. You are the void.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to yap you again.
Excuse me, his name's Jeremiah.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
Hold on.
Rude.
I know, right?
Wow. Okay. So, who can tell me what happened last time then?
Darn, I'm trying to remember. The only thing I can remember is Yip Yap basically ordering an entire bowl of fish.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that was an important, canon event right there.
Yeah, we couldn't have avoided it at all.
Core memory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and we were going out to look for Cyclops. We went to one of the Fisher places, couldn't find anything. We came across one of the temples, and it was filled with a multitude of deities. It's like a weird ecumenical temple. And Yip Yap and I gave sacrifices to our gods. So yeah, that happened.
Oh, right, the gods thing, and the drow lady with us went in to look at the radiant stuff.
Yes.
Did she come out of the temple, or did we see
Not
her?
yet. I think it left with us basically seeing her do that.
Okay.
All right. So that is inspiration for Stephen and Jeremiah. And we will pick up where we left off. So Balgroth had been in NPC mode for the last 15-ish minutes of the session.
Mans was giving up quests.
Yes, he had a little exclamation point above his head. But we start with the three of you deciding to leave the temple and continue on your way. As for Drow, Yip Yap, can you make a perception roll for me? And I'll pull up the
Certainly try.
map at that.
Now let's zoom in even more. Perception.
All right.
Can Fossil try to perceive for me?
Sure, yeah.
Yo, I can't see nothing, fam.
I mean, Yip Yap does always have his hood over his eyes, so.
Yes.
Little buddy.
Hey,
So-
he tried.
You don't know if Astal is still there or has left yet. All you know is that you saw her walk down the Radiance Hall. Yip Yap. But you all walk out, and it's getting to about midday. The sun is blaring down at you all. It's a very clear sky today.
How radiant. That's a big word for kobold.
And you start making your way to the dockyard because you can just kind of see it from where you stand on top of the temple stairs. But can all three of you make a perception roll for me?
We'll see. Oh, apparently.
All right.
Oh, darn. Okay, then.
Let's see if Dale isn't on Roll20.
See, it's because it's low. I'm guessing it's lower than us, so it's actually under where the hood covers.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he's probably fixing his connection or something.
Gotcha. I'll roll for him.
Do it.
All right, a 17. So, you all, as you walk down the stairs, careful because the steps are like small and there's people coming up and leaving and there's a lot of movement all around you. And you walk down onto the street level and you notice that there is a wall that is connected to the front part of the temple, but it is a very separate kind of architecture where the temple is very well kept and the walls are a sort of smooth marble. This wall is very jagged and has bits of shell sticking out from the clay. And you walk along it. There's no evidence of what exactly is connected to this wall. There's no signs of entry or signs or anything in general. But you do see a couple folks smoking very brightly rolled cigarettes or drinking a bottle out of a paper bag. And they all kind of eye you a little bit as you walk past. Up above on top of the wall. I guess you all would see it. There are some flogants hopping around with other various birds, pecking at food or kind of pecking at the rock in general. Just kind of hopping around.
Tell you what, this area is more lively than I would have thought.
Seeing the other people drinking, Yip Yap is gonna.
Peer pressure.
Yip Yap would love to have that little. Time for a top off.
So yeah. You all walk past, and Balgroth, you did get us. No, actually, it was Yip Yap who got the 18. I misread things. Yip Yap, because you are like, paying more attention, I guess, to the surroundings of the wall, the people drinking, things like that. You hear. Why'd my phone turn off?
Yip Yap knows a drinker when he sees one.
You hear this kind of dull hum coming from the wall, possibly more behind it.
No, Yip Yap thinks the wall's humming.
And you see further down where not many people are standing, are some beams of light that have been put through the wall. Some bigger than others. Not many that big, though.
Yep is
And
gonna tug on Balgroth and like point it out. Like
What?
use his beery mage hand's a cantrip. Is my mage hand a cantrip? My ledgerman? Yeah. Use
It should
my
be.
beer frothy mage hand to kind of point out the points of light shining through.
oh, I should.
What is it? What is it, Yip Yap? Isn't it just light?
I don't know. There's also a humming coming from there. I think the wall's humming. I think the walls are alive, Balgroth.
The walls are.
Yeah, and I heard that the hills are alive with the sound of music. Doesn't mean that they actually are.
They also have eyes.
Of course they have eyes. It's a Mario game. But I begin to look a little bit closer.
With Yip Yap drawing your attention more to the wall, can you make another perception with advantage?
19.
All right. So you walk a bit closer, the streams of light. It's difficult to tell what's causing them because the sun is to the right of you, and this wall is in front of you.
Mhm.
But you start to hear the murmuring and mumbling coming from the wall, the other side of the wall. And when you get close to the sort of dots of light that are shining through gaps in the wall that aren't really much bigger than the length of a thumb in some places, you start to hear this cohesive chant where it's a lot of voices sort of overlapping each other at a calm level of voice. You hear them chanting 12, 12, 12, 12.
I listen in closer, incredibly curious. Well, Yip Yap, you seem to be correct. They're not humming. It's chanting.
Oh.
Something about the number 12.
12. Does Yip know what 12 is?
12 is a
Depends on
number,
how
Yip
high-
Yap. How many
What?
fingers does he have?
Yeah.
4. To be fair, yes, that is a multiple of 4. So if he has like a base 4 counting system,
Right.
he might. But he's also got a base no math and understanding, as we've proven last time. Anyways,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I'm completely resisting the futile temptation to teach him what 12 is. I try to peer through, I guess, some of the lights, or at least one of the lights.
You move closer to try and peer in through the gap. And for a second, the artificial light blinds you for a moment, and then these silhouettes slowly coalesce into figures. But before you can fully make out who or what is in there, you get a very sharp sting to your eye that causes you to stumble back in pain. Your eye is like fine. They didn't take out your eye. You're not blind, but something like poked you, and
My freaking eye!
ooh, I'm blinded by the light.
and then from the wall you start to hear the chanting again, and they're saying 13, 13, 13.
Yip
Oh,
Yap
my.
is going to go up and peer in the lowest hole.
Notwithstanding 13, what is this, a Kingdom Hearts game?
Yip Yap, you go to look into a hole, and just in the same kind of fashion, the light strains against your eye, and before you can fully focus on what is inside, how many people there are, you also get a very sharp sting to your eye, which causes you to stumble back, and the chanting resumes. 14, 14, 14.
Ooh,
No, yip yap, you can definitely see.
Ah.
It's the hearing that's going to be our problem.
Hearing what?
You.
Oh. 14.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. But
Is this some sort of weird cult that pokes eyes?
I guess, and now they're continually counting how many times they do it. I guess. This
Ooh.
is
Can I look in there with detect magic?
Oh, what school of magic is this?
Think.
I don't know. Whatever the summoning magic is.
Ooh, conjuration.
Yes. You sense conjuration, and you say you do look through it?
I mean, if I find myself getting blinded being like a foot away, I won't, but
When you're not... Okay. When you're a bit far away from the wall trying to look through the holes, you can't see anything. Every once in a while, someone will pass in front of it to block out the light, and it'll come back. Just silhouettes passing through as they chant 14, 14, 14.
huh, okay. Is there like a clear way of getting into this place?
Not that you can see immediately. It is sealed on both ends where the kind of architecture changes, where there's the temple, this wall, and then another stone building which leads into shops. And it is about 40 feet high, almost the height of the smallest tower of the temple.
So it's above us.
The top of the wall?
Yeah, like the stuff that we're trying to peer in through.
What?
I'm trying to figure out where my mental space is. So what we're looking at is, of course, probably right in front of us, but it's big enough to encompass the entire the side of the temple.
More or less, yes. It obscures everything kind of on that side of the temple.
Okay.
And yeah, you've just happened to find like a cluster of holes that someone has probably dug out at some point.
Mm-hmm. So it's not something that's going to be like light enough for a 7.5 foot half orc to just burst through.
Not that you can tell. It seems like a pretty thick wall.
Huh.
Or at least very sturdily made.
How big are these holes?
I'd say like probably just as big as your eye. Some are small.
Okay. And all right, interesting. I almost want to cast knock on this, but I don't want to waste something. It's not going to work. Has the counting gone up since we've not been looking in?
Nope.
You take a look, Isaiah.
I did. Sort of. Let's see.
Well, don't
Can
do
I,
it
like-
soda. Do it all the way.
Can I like poke something in there, like a stick, see if anything happens?
Do you have just sticks?
Yeah, are there not sticks on the ground?
Do I have a shtick?
Of course I have a stick. I'm a wizard. I have plenty of twigs.
I have a
I have a
spear.
stick.
That's
I hold,
enough.
up my,
Okay.
I hold up my ornate Kiriga stick.
Oh, I mean, if you have like twigs and stuff.
Yeah, like if I poke a twig in there, like does anything happen to it?
No. You're able to pull it back out.
Interesting.
Hmm.
What do you think it is?
Should I try knock? Or should we just move on from this random thing?
It is a pretty random thing.
I still want to try knock.
All right, my roll 20 still isn't up yet, but I will cast knock in this general vicinity.
Does that also like unlock things, or is that something else?
No, yeah, it's the unlock. It's the
Okay.
door opener spell. It's sort of like
So-
knock knock, but like the FBI version.
Mm-hmm.
Knock, knock, let the devil in.
So
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
nothing appears to shift. There is that sort of loud snap that happens when you cast that spell, but nothing that you can see changes with the wall or its surroundings in any way. But now a lot of people have just turned to look at you with questioning glares.
So they're actually looking at us now?
Like other
on
people.
the street and the ones smoking and drinking, yeah.
The streets know me.
They don't say anything, they don't do anything, and after a couple seconds, everyone kind of continues on their way after that interruption.
Is there anyone here who's like passed out, drunk?
Give me a second. One person is curled up, not curled up, but kind of just pressed up in a more shadowy part of the wall, laying with a empty bottle to its side, and someone has put a sort of parchment scroll newspaper over top of their shoulders and head.
I want to. Part of me
What?
wants to try to pickpocket them.
If you want to try, I guess.
I want to see if they have anything of interest on them. I'm not necessarily going to take it.
Okay.
Thievery.
So, yeah, sleight of hand. As you search this intoxicated and passed out person, you don't find much in their pockets. You find that their jacket has inside pockets that you sort of dig around in. You find
Inside pockets.
one copper piece, a bottle cap, and a little fishing hook.
I'll take the copper piece.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought Yip Yap was going to take the bottle cap, mistaking it for the copper piece.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go up to someone and just ask them, "Hey, pardon me, do you know what that chanting is from that wall?"
Oh.
So the one you walk up to is a male elf who is smoking a bright blue sort of cigarette with purple smoke curling up from it. Oh. The asylum?
Oh.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put too much thought on that. They're just weird. We've been trying to get that wall patched up, but they keep finding a way to poke through it. It's really annoying.
I believe it. I go back. Thank you, good sir. I go back to Balgroth and Yip Yap. So apparently, the more you look in there, the more powerful you become.
Do we believe him?
He does not make an effort to make it a believable statement. So maybe you do.
Balgroth, you can tell he's BSing. Yip Yap, you don't know.
Why are you like this, Isaiah?
It's an asylum.
I'm gonna be honest. That leads to more questions. Why would you build a temple right by an asylum?
Well, I imagine there's quite a lot of overlap between the devout adherents of certain religions and those that should not be allowed to be around sharp edges.
I don't know. It sounds kind of atheistic to me.
Certain religions, Balgroth, and certain adherents.
Mm-hmm. You
Listen.
might be right.
All
Yep,
I'm
yep,
saying.
going to slowly inch toward the wall.
I grab Yip by the neck before he moves.
Oh. Look at him, limiting your power, Yip Yap. Didn't you like him better when he was telling you to give in to your anger?
Isaiah, don't do this. Yip can hear us talking, can't he?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what
Sort of,
asylum
yes,
means.
right.
Yeah, he can hear you, but he's just kind of like out of it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
He's
Yeah.
too.
He doesn't know octagon.
What's asylum?
It means a
That's
place
where,
of refuge.
no. It's
Yes.
not. It's
Yes,
not.
it does. That's
It's
what
not.
it means.
It's
Check the
not.
dictionary, Balgroth.
I found a few
Asylum is a place
asylums.
of refuge.
I
You
found
know
a few
who-
asylums on my way here.
No, but that's not what he means. That's not what it really means here in this context. It means it's a place for crazy people.
Context, schmontext, Balgroth. The context could be hilarious if you would just let it happen.
Wait, you can rip off text?
Well, you
The
can
powers of being able to
trick
read.
them. You have to trick the texts like a good confidence man, and then you can do what you want with them. That's really what being a magician's all about.
Why does the king have to retire?
I don't even. You know what? I let go of Yip Yap. You know what, man? Do what you want.
You get another pick.
Yip Yap.
And
No,
they start
you know
saying
what?
16.
You know what, Yip Yap? I think I may have misunderstood. I think actually there's crazy people in there, and they get more boisterous every time you look in.
I like crazy. But yeah, why does the king have to stop being king?
Because he's blind and deaf and mute?
He's old. Yip Yap.
Yeah, Kirigo's old.
Well,
He's-
look what happened to Kiriga.
Yeah, people came and killed him. If it hadn't been for
Exactly.
them,
You don't want a king that's vulnerable to that. I mean, look, he's already blind and deaf and mute because, you know.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. He has a point. So I mean, the throne should go to the prince. Not saying that just because I was one and I should have the throne, but yeah, it should go to the prince.
Yip Yap, unlike him, you and I will never be royals. Cough, pardon me.
speak for
I just
yourself.
suppose
I'm
doesn't
currently
run
the
in our
only.
blood.
Speak for yourself. I'm the closest thing to the only priest of my god now.
That means you're not a priest, though, right?
I could if I wanted to be.
Right.
He does
What do
have-
you know of worshipping Splil Kiriga? Exactly. I know how to worship him.
I'm still amazed
Now, where are
Kiriga's a
some
man.
goblins?
I mean, if you have one follower, one believer, does that mean that the god ceases to exist?
No. I mean, clearly not. He keeps talking to me.
See, and he's talking to him.
Isaiah is just dumbfounded at the illogic of this discourse, regardless of its truth.
Isaiah, recognize that you're talking to Yip Yap.
I mean,
But also
look
you.
at what I can. Look at what I can do after
I'm
Kiriga
doing what
talked-
I'm doing to survive.
Look at what I can do after Kiriga talked to me at my sleep, and in a safe direction toward the sky, Yip Yap casts Kiriga's magic hands, or Kiriga's hands, where his hands morph together into the head of Kiriga as it opens and casts fire fingers.
What the heck
Or
is fire
fire
fingers?
hands. I forget what it's properly
Burning
called.
hands? Oh, burning hands. Okay.
Burning
Burning.
hands.
Fire fingers would be a fun spell, though.
That's
A lot
basically
of-
what it is if you've seen the art. So he
A
just
lot of-
fires off into the air.
A lot of
See, he taught me that.
A lot of onlookers once again stop and stare at you three. Some are looking up at that, and then they go on their way again. Some kind of just mumbling to themselves in anger or annoyance.
It's also wild magic.
I sort
Oh
of-
yes, wild magic.
No! Counterspelled!
Too late.
So roll a d100.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Mamma jamma.
65 what I get.
I need to save this table so I don't have to keep looking it up every time. So
What did I get?
Hold on. 65 is so what happens is the sort of energy emanating off of the Kiriga head that you created up in the sky sort of shifts and twitches as it dissipates and then zooms back towards your head, wrapping around in like a very thin ring of fire as you get a very bad headache. And you, Balgroth, and Isaiah take 1d4 psychic damage.
Yep,
I'll-
yep.
I'll roll that now to see what you all get.
Ow. You didn't have to mind sliver me.
I didn't have to, because you did this to yourself.
You did this to ourselves.
Yep,
All
yep.
right.
If this is the soak. Yip yap. You should talk to your god and request more functional magical capacity. I'm sure that this completely real deity that is completely the real source of your very worthwhile powers could figure something out if you would just be so kind and humble as to ask.
Yip
I
Yap's eyes are just like fully pointed in opposite directions.
I put in the chat how much damage you each take.
Okay. I don't think it's the god. I think he's just an idiot.
Yes, but do you want to tell him that?
Even if we told him, it wouldn't matter.
What if I just, stripped him of all magical ability?
You know that's not going to help him at all. He's still going to keep trying.
I know.
So
But-
we might as well just leave it to what it is.
A frog blink.
Yip Yap almost always offset blinks. Sadly, no one can ever see it. They just hear the sound of his eyelids smacking.
It's like Squidward.
So,
Ooh.
with all of that, would you guys like to head to the docks?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
So you
all go
leave-
to the dog.
Couldn't we just leave the docks?
You're heading to the docks. You haven't gotten there yet.
Where was this? Where was the the Bass Pro Shop we were at? Was that not at the docks?
That was just in the town square.
No, it
That was
was
just a
Okay.
plaza.
Gotcha.
So yes,
Is this the town square?
this is a street.
I don't know if that's illuminating for you.
It's like, does that look
you
like a square
asking
to
on the
you?
city. This city is just kind of like a basic map that I found by this person. It just best represents the city. I would say, if I had to say, you guys are around here.
Okay.
So you're heading to the docks, leaving the temple and that weird wall behind you. You pass a couple more shops until you come upon a series of long boardwalks that stud the shore of Belmar, leading out pretty far until you can see like a short range of mountains. And this area is very heavily trafficked, much more than the inner city where you were at the hotel and the castle. You see pop-up shops that look like they were built that morning, out of wood with awnings over them, people trying to sell mostly seafood, fresh caught fish, small bits of fishing supplies like hooks, wires, things like that, nothing too extraordinary. And you see a lot of boats tied up to the docks. Some people are sailing out on small canoes, some are coming in, and a lot of people are unloading or loading the crates from onto their ships. And you also, Balgroth, you can kind of tell the difference at first glance that some ships are more regal than other ships. And once you kind of walk onto the boardwalk, you all see the royal insignia is on a handful of these ships at different ports.
Which ones? I start looking at the royal insignias. Which countries do they belong to? Or which
The one you're
do they
in.
belong to? Oh, just this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a handful of ships that all belong to the royal family.
Now,
At different stations.
pardon my ignorance of nautical procedure, but it seems all of these men are preoccupied with carrying boxes and crates to and from the boats, which leaves no manpower left, which, as far as I can tell, raises the question, who's going to carry the boats?
It's a great question.
No, that's
Long.
not a good question. That's the stupidest question I've ever heard.
You
We
never
don't carry
want...
the boats.
You
They're in
know,
the water.
I stowed away on a boat once.
And what happened?
I met a guy.
Who was the guy? The guy on a boat?
No,
Who carries the
guy in
boat?
the boat. He taught me everything I know.
Was it Kiriga?
No, Kiriga's not a man. He's not even a son of man.
Well, you said a guy.
Yeah.
Like a human?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he looked like you.
Yes, well, we all do look the same and know each other, so it makes sense.
Really?
Oh, yes. We have the annual Human Fest, where we get together and dance to rhythms and such.
Those are just cool parties.
Why do I get the feeling you might be lying to me in a very metatextual way?
Yep. You can't even say metatextual.
Say what?
Exactly.
Why does my head hurt?
You see, it sounds different when you describe things in strange ways, Balgroth.
Anyway, maybe the Cyclops is in one of these boats. Because if we're going to be selling stuff on the ship, for the prince, they could be housed on the royal ships, or at least near them. What do you think?
Could make sense. Yes, let's take a look.
All right. You all kind of trample on to the docks further in, and as you kind of are about to get to the first actual outward-facing dock, you hear kind of this tired, not necessarily annoyed, but just tired voice say, "Oh, hold up." And a guard, you notice off to the side is a sort of wooden shack that looks a bit more well-kept than the shops, but still sort of run down. And a guard sits up inside of it and leans over the window frame, pushing his hat up off his eyes. You three planning on fishing?
Oh, I like to fish.
Perhaps. We're looking for, it depends on our time frame, but we're actually looking for someone right now. Why do you ask?
Oh, right.
Well, you need a license to fish on my docks. And you do have some equipment there. So I just, ask.
Oh. Have you seen a guy with one eye?
A lot of pirates come in and out of here. I've seen a lot of people with one eye.
Oh.
Perhaps more naturally, a cyclops of some sort?
Yeah, a bicycle?
Well, once or twice seen Cyclops. Haven't seen any lately.
Well, have they usually gone to the same place?
As far as I know, all Cyclopses live in that far east, in Setya. They ship down here to avoid Sione, but other than that, I don't really know what they trade. I just make sure they pay the tolls.
I see.
Speaking of that, if you need a
How
fishing
much-
license, you will pay.
What is the fishing license cost?
So, a license to fish and game on my docks is 10 gold a person, and that's just for typical game. I can tell you have a lot of equipment. Also, I just noticed you have an octopus. Did you catch that already? Or
No. I brought this here. Yes, I caught it already. Yes.
Okay, so you're bringing it in. Are you planning on releasing it? Because that's another ticket.
A ticket.
Not ticket. A fine.
Why is that?
Fine. Ooh, cool.
Well, because that doesn't really look like an octopus around this ocean. Looks like it exists in the colder oceans. So if you were going to release it here, that would be damaging the local ecosystem, and also it could mess with fishing schedules.
Oh, you're one of those. All right. Well, no. I might put him in the water a bit, but I was not planning. I don't need to necessarily release him forever.
All right. Well, you just keep a tight leash on that. But yes, a license to fish regular game here is 10 gold a person, and I do count lizards as their own, so that'll be 30 gold each.
I shine, or at least sort of flex my muscle showing the royal insignia. Is there any discount for royalty?
As of late, the prince has lifted recalled fines from higher citizens to make it fair for everyone else. So I am sorry, Your Highness. You will have to pay the full 30, or the full 10 for you.
He rolls his eyes.
I don't make the rules.
It's a shame. Well, I guess we should get back to looking for the guy with one eye. The bicycle.
After you give him all the 30 gold, however way you want to pay.
No,
Either.
it's 30 gold total, right? Not each.
Yes.
Yes.
30 gold total. So each give 10.
Sure.
The only UPF has 5 gold, and then he has a number of pieces of like Jolly Roger gold.
Yep. Give me a dagger, and I'll pay your toll.
Okay. He hands you one of his throwing daggers.
Excellent.
Cool. So you all pay.
Thank you, Isaiah. I really need to get more of those.
You should probably buy some more.
So the guard counts your money, kind of tosses all of it into this small rectangular box and sets it down. All right. That will do it. You three take care and don't cause a ruckus on my docks.
No
I
problem.
don't even know what that means.
Oh, you all want to know what a ruckus is?
Sounds like a name for an uncle.
I grab you.
No relation.
I grab Yip by the neck, lifting it up. Oh yeah, sure. I'll keep an eye on him, but no promises. As I begin to walk away.
What's a ruckus?
It's a brouhaha.
A what?
It's trouble.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. So with Balgroth carrying Yip Yap and Isaiah carrying an octopus, you all make your way across the docks. And as you walk, the royal ships are not all parked next to each other. There's one a little bit down the way, one sort of close to us. It's scattered about at different sections of the dock for different kinds of trade. You can sort of tell based on what shops are where.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of captains, or what you assume to be captains given their dress and the fact that they're ordering other people around. You see them standing kind of at the foot of the docking ramps, helping people carry up things, take things off. And a few turn to look at you, not many pay you much attention. None of the royal ships seem to be unloading or loading at the moment. And a couple people kind of catch your eye. You see a sort of very burly man with a bandana over a mostly bald head, you can tell, with the white hair kind of fraying at the bottoms of his bandana. He has these small black lens glasses covering his eyes with his arms crossed, and a sort of dark trench coat going down to his ankles, a belt with what you can kind of see to be canisters as they glint in the sunlight. And he's ordering a few Stockley men, telling them where exactly to put something on his boat. You see a tall man, more in the shadow of his own boat, a hat covering his face, as he talks to somebody with his head down. And you also notice from his dark red, well-tailored suit that is unfortunately seems to be ripped at the bottom, a pointed tail is slowly moving back and forth from beneath the ribbons of his coat.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, talking to a salesman of fish. I don't know what I'm saying. You see,
Fishmonger.
It's a fish man. Well, not an actual fish man, but a fish man.
you see a larger man, kind of stooped over. He's very tall and also sort of roundish, with skin the shade of like bubble gum. He has sort of tusks coming out from the sides of his head as he points at certain things he wants to buy. A pirate captain sort of hat tipped down between the center of his antlers.
Hmm.
And those are the people who catch your eye.
Any one of these people could be the stand user.
You could hear that. You can literally see the ba 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 radiating from them.
I do the action.
Menacing.
I mean, I stand from time to time. I like sitting, though. Sitting's nice. Laying down is preferable.
Well, who do you all think we should reach out to?
I'm thinking the fish guy.
Go for it.
I look at Isaiah, not trusting him. Or myself. You do it.
Fine. Hold this. And I give him the tank with Sylvester in it.
It gurgles angrily and kind of presses up against the glass at the
Ahem. He knocked it. No, I'm just kidding. I go up to
I hold it slightly away.
I go up to the gentleman. Beg your pardon, good sir. We are looking for someone known as the Cyclops. Do you have any idea who this person would be?
As you talk to him, this man is about twice your height, and he slowly turns and looks down. He has a very large kind of nose ring from a squashed kind of looking nose. But he has sort of bright eyes, a mustache that really furries, almost kind of like a beard, but not quite growing downwards. And he kind of like looks at you. Oh, the Cyclops. I haven't seen one in a while. Don't know anyone by that name.
Well, Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, just curious, what sort of fish do you have here?
Oh, well, I'm just buying fish, stocking up. I'm going to stay here for a while. And I was just talking to Spatro. And I always come to this guy. He's a great guy. Eh, Scotchbo? I'm sorry.
You know it's good when you laugh at your own joke.
She's cracking herself up right here.
You know it's good.
No,
Never
because
fail
I
to be
said it
entertained.
wrong. I said it wrong. And I don't know why that made me laugh so much. But yeah, he points to Spatro.
LOL.
You
And
subverted your own expectations. That should be a character trait.
The owner is a human man, about the same height as you, Isaiah, with a full, what are these called? When a guy has like really intense sideburns, he's got that. And he just slowly
Mutton
looks-
chops.
Mutton
Yeah,
chops.
mutton chops. And he looks at you and like kind of has like a very calm look on his face, but he does look a little annoyed.
Oh, hello, Sacho.
Hi. Yeah, don't mind. He's eccentric. Do you need any fish?
What have you got?
Well, the fresh catch of the day was mackerel, but I also have some tuna. Someone brought in a adolescent shark, but I'm keeping that for someone specific.
Ooh. Is it alive?
No, it's not alive. It just gets ordered specially by another captain around here.
Oh, interesting. Well, which
How many
one?
eyes does this captain have?
It's just a captain. I don't know exactly where he's from. He has a friend of his, I guess, catch the shark, and then he comes and buys them.
Aha! Avoiding the question, I asked how many eyes he had.
2.
Okay, never mind.
You wouldn't happen to know of anyone around here that goes by Cyclops, would you?
I've never heard of anyone using that as a nickname, no.
Have you ever seen an actual Cyclops before?
Once.
And when was that?
Years ago. Cycles ago. When I was a kid.
Probably not our guy. Well, thank you, sir. I bid you good day.
The salesman
Yeah.
nods. And then the large captain kind of turns and looks further down. Oh, a kobold! I haven't seen a kobold in a while. Hi! And he like leans down and it looks like he's just about to fall on you. Like this boulder is about to tumble on top of you.
Hi, I'm Yip Yap Notel, Kobold!
Kobold!
Oh, that's adorable. You know, I never understand why you kind of poached. So cute.
Oh. Poached?
Like an egg?
Well, I talked to some buddies in Sione, and they hunt lizard folk over there. Kobolds are a, what's the word? Like a special.
Delicacy?
Yeah.
You have friends who hunt kobold.
No. I used to have friends who hunt you. Because I don't
Better.
think that just
How
seems
many were there? 4 of them?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I didn't know all my friends' occupations when I knew them. I just knew that some did. Hey, you know, you're not the first kobold I've met looking for kobold hunters. You know, I'll give you a little... Here's the thing. And he kind of like moves over and leans down kind of more on his knee now to like try and get at your level, but it's just not... He cannot bend his body enough. If you give me 20 gold, I'll tell you where their special little tavern is where they all meet up.
Yip Yap looks at Balgroth as Fossil's head comes over Yip Yap's hood, resting on his nose, and gives you puppy dog eyes.
Balgroth rolls his eyes. The only reason I'm doing this is because you're a part of our party. He rummages a bag of 20 gold and tosses it to the man.
All right. So, it was this town in the more southern part of Sione. I wouldn't even really call it a town, to be honest. It's more just this one huge tavern and then like a couple campsites. But that's where those bounty hunters go to sort of boast over each other. I've been there once or twice. It's a very hearty environment, but the things they talk about, turn your stomach.
What's it called?
The meeting place? I don't recall if it has a name. They just sort of called it the tavern.
The tavern.
I guess I didn't get to know the name because I wasn't one of them. Well,
And what's the location again?
it was sort of south in Sione, about as far south as you can get before getting into that dangerous territory down there. It's, I think a caravan goes by it, but you have to pay them off to let them go that way.
The caravan that Reist is on. Okay, can we go to Sione after we find the man with only one eye, please?
Well, we still need to find that Para lady.
Maybe she's in Sione.
I
Maybe
don't
she
think
hunts
she's
kobold.
Yip Yap, you can pursue your very questionable revenge after this, yes.
I don't think it's questionable at all. I think
No,
it's pretty
obviously, else
logical.
you wouldn't be pursuing it. Yip, we'll discuss this later.
Trust me, Yip Yap, I want to go to Sione as quickly as possible. And the only way to do it is to get rid of these distractions.
As you all are kind of talking about this, the big pink guy sort of stands back up, and he like ties the bag of gold you gave him around one of his antlers, and he grabs his kind of bundle of fish. Well, it was nice talking to you. I haven't had a nice conversation like that in a while. I'll see ya, maybe. And he starts walking off towards his ship.
Bye.
Balgroth scoffs at him. So where to next? Because this isn't getting us anywhere. How hard is it on the docks to find a man with one eye?
Well,
We could ask around.
I don't know, like, we don't even know that he's at the talks, but they said to find the Cyclops.
Yeah.
Old Man Blink, Cyclops. Old Man Blink has blink dogs. Do you think the Cyclops is maybe not his species, or the fact that he has one eye?
I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't know that much about Cyclops lore.
Can you two make a perception check for me?
Open the eyes. It's 11.
All right.
Dang.
Boy.
So, Isaiah, you notice that there's not a swarm, a small flock of Flogans have sort of rested upon the masts of the boat where the man with the dark red coat and pointed tail are standing in. And Jeremiah, you notice that a bit of a commotion, not too much where there's a crowd, but some yelling has started up with the burlier looking captain with the dark black lens glasses and bandana. It appears he has Well, he's trying to help someone out of the water.
I'm going to go figure out what the commotion is.
I'm gonna go towards the Flogent ship.
Okay, yep. Which one do you
Yep
go?
is going to watch because, yes.
Okay, with that, we are going to take a small break.
But
Cool.
it do.
Badu. Stephen, you're familiar with the Christian Bible, correct?
So some claim and so some deny.
Well, a more serious question. Can you think of anywhere in the Bible that it says or implies anything to the effect of marriage is to create children or sex is about creating children? Like, not that those things happen, but like that, like in terms of purpose.
I mean, that is sort of a natural result that comes eventually, even if people don't exactly want it. That tends to be a high risk. Though, I think the way to go on Hebrews is that it says that the marriage bed is not defiled.
Right.
So
'Cause in Ephesians,
I don't think relation between husband and wife has to be inherently procreative in the most sense.
sure. Yeah, because like when I read Ephesians 5, like it seems very clear there that sex and marriage like exist to portray this like a picture of Jesus. And then like I hear like, but I'll often hear like marriage and sex are about like a laundry list of other things, and children is one of them. And I can't like I'm not quite sure how people would come to that conclusion. There's one verse in like Malachi that a certain translation could be interpreted that way, but it's very like it's still an old covenanty statement, but at least it like speaks that way.
Like the purpose of marriage is to produce holy children.
Yeah, it's like why? Well, like one way you could read it is like, why did God give you a wife? Like, well, it's like, why did God give you the wife of covenant so that was it not to produce holy children or something like that?
Yeah.
But like, there's like, from
Because
what I gather, it's a very difficult way to read it, and like,
prophet.
yeah. Well, it's like but there's also like a way to translate that has nothing to do with marriage and children.
And I mean, like, consider the context. What's the contrast? Like the entire reason why he's talking about that is because the priests have divorced their holy wives for pagan wives.
Right.
And so the priest, the specific job, the specific task of the priest is to raise up holy seed, to raise up other priests.
Yes.
Because they're the tribe of
Oh
Levi.
yeah, no, like the context, yeah, it's clearly not universal, but like even there, yeah, no, I agree.
Sure.
Yeah, I asked because like, so we're finishing up a series on marriage for our Sunday school, and I've already pretty much taken like a hatchet to the base curriculum, which is fine because like we got it from elsewhere. But like a thing that just
Like what
keeps
I do
coming
with
up is
Genesis.
what's that?
I said it's like what I do with the curriculums that we use in Answers in Genesis.
An Answers in Genesis type of guy.
I'm more of like a, if I don't necessarily hold to a 7-day creation, even though I believe I understand people who do. It's just I don't necessarily take a stance on it.
Sure. Now then, why do you like not like seriously like? Why would you even use an Answers in Genesis curriculum period if you're like not diametrically opposed, but like the main selling point is not your thing?
Because it's not necessarily my own. It's like it
Oh,
covers
okay.
it covers a lot of things in relation to like the just like a biblical worldview of how you view the world, how the gospel comes out in the very plan of God. That's pretty much what we're doing. We're doing the 7 C's of world history,
Yeah.
of biblical history, and one of them is creation. And what I basically said was, however the heck you view creation, just know that it was created by God and it was created in order and it was created good before man fell. So that's pretty much the closest thing that I take on it. The other thing that we did was for the kids, we played like 2 of Ken Ham's videos on dinosaurs because the kids love dinosaurs, and that's pretty much it.
Gotcha.
But I mean, when it comes to people like Ken Ham and Answers in Genesis, sometimes they can be a bit too heavy-handed for me.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. I think the worst are the homeschool kids who did debate, which is basically all homeschool kids, that like aren't that are very familiar with like the Ken Ham stuff, but not familiar directly with like actual. I mean, even like secular evolutionary material, and so like you can tell that they don't quite get what's going on and what they're arguing against.
Right.
Where like I think Ken has dealt with the stuff, but like it's like when you're hearing like a meme of a meme, and it's like like there's just that little bit of offness there. But
Steven,
yeah,
you were going to say something. I literally did not want to leave you in the dust in this conversation.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear, or at least did you hear about basically like Ken Ham and what is it, Gavin Ortland are basically having sort of a brouhaha over this sort of issue?
Are they still? I knew that they like clashed at one point, like in the last month or two, but
Yeah, I don't know if it's still going on, but I do know that it happened.
I feel like with like so okay, so I was an old Earth guy. Never thought the inspiring philosophy stuff was compelling at all, though. I am now a
Agreed.
young Earth guy, but I do feel like so I think that Ken in this scenario is like, it's not that I think he's like outright wrong, but I think that he is
That's a
making
wrong way
too
of
much.
going at it.
I think there's a little bit of like assuming a level of thoughtfulness in any direction that's probably not there with most people. But I think Gavin is like his argument is implicitly, well, Ken's wrong, so clearly this doesn't make any sense. I'm like, well, hold on, Gavin. Like that's not really an argument.
Right, and I think it's a problem on both sides.
Yeah.
Because of course I mean, like, I love Gavin, but there are some times where sometimes he can be a bit heavy-handed, and of course Ken Ham is also a bit dismissive.
You know how those
So-
Halties are, that penal colony.
So like when both sides are implicitly or explicitly dismissive of each other, it's not going to make anything better. It's not going to help the conversation. It's only going to make things worse.
Hmm.
And nobody benefits.
Speaking of Aussies, have you been seeing those clips of like that? Oh shit! It's like the movie about the Australian dude. It's called like Wolf's Ridge or something on TikTok that have been coming up.
Bits and pieces.
Well, imagine if like Ken Ham was like that Australian dude. That'd be way cooler.
Hmm.
Just like you're gonna explain to me how it was made in 6 days, or you lose a finger. That's
Okay.
a real great test.
So, are we good to go back?
For
Yeah.
shizzle.
Okay. Cool. So we'll start with Balgroth, who goes off to investigate the small ruckus that is happening with the burly captain. And as you walk over Balgroth, you see now that he is fully laying down on the wood with his arm reaching down, trying to grab at the man who is flailing about 3 feet down in the water, trying to get up and grab onto the captain's hands. And it finally seems like he gets a decent grip and lifts the man up. And you see that like seaweed has wrapped around this man's legs. And the captain kind of puts him down, takes his own coat off and puts it on the shoulders of this man, and then sort of shoves him up the ramp to the boat. And you see now, approaching from behind him, on his muscular like arms, he is covered like neck to wrist in a mixture of tattoos and scars. And on the back of his neck, just almost kind of hidden by the wisps of white hair that he has, you see a symbol design that is similar to a plus sign, but the ends are pointed. He puts his hands on his hips and looks down into the water. You can't see with what expression, though.
I go behind him and sort of ask him, what in the world was all of that?
He turns around really quickly and sort of like as if he's about to punch you, and then kind of relaxes himself. Don't sneak up like that. You know how many people would cut your head off for doing that?
Too many have tried, too many have failed.
Right. Did you ask something? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, what was all of that about? Apparently, one of your guys fell off the ship.
Yes. He tripped, because he's still getting used to the sea. Fell in the water. I had to drag him out of it.
I guess he hasn't gotten his what do you call it? Sea feet?
Whatever floats your boat.
Sea legs, that's what it is. Sea legs. So, well, what about you? What's your story?
Who are you?
Me.
I'm kind of busy. So,
Yeah, I am too. I'm busy looking for this Cyclops guy, and I have no idea who he is. Do you
see
know?
you see one of his like eyebrows raise, and he kind of takes off the small black lens glasses, and you see that he has very kind of not milky, but like almost colorless eyes. And he looks at you. You're looking for a Cyclops?
Yeah, I am. Me and my party.
All right. Well, if you see a Cyclops, can you tell him that he owes me 10 platinum? And I'll be waiting here for him.
Why does he owe you 10 platinum?
Son, I am discovering more and more that I'm wasting my time talking to you. So
What? I just asked. I'm just curious. So here. You apparently want us to find this guy. Where did you last see him?
I'm not expecting you to find him. I'm just saying if you see him, tell him. I'm looking for him too. It's a shifty fellow.
How shifty? How should I know, lest I feel the need to cut him down? What? Do you want your platinum or not?
Look. He changes his look every time. Only thing that stays is that he's missing an eye. So I don't even know what he looks like. But I know what his eye looks like. When I see it, I'm going to wring his little neck.
Is it his right eye or his left eye?
Can Yip Yap hear this?
I guess Yip Yap has run up to Balgroth in this time.
Oh, I look down. Well, yeah, is it his right eye or his left eye?
His right eye is missing. Got a nasty scar there.
I told you! He smacks Balgroth's shin. I told you! I
don't feel a thing.
Yeah, no, you don't.
All right. Well, good. Thanks for the information, Scar guy.
Gargamel.
Okay. And he just kind of walks up his ramp, starts yelling at people on the ship to move faster.
And I walk back. About time we actually got something useful.
With that, we'll go to Isaiah, who went off to investigate the ship with the Flogant flock hanging out on its mast. So you walk up to the man in the deep red coat, the hat covering his face. As you walk up to him, his tail kind of flicks out of the slow rhythm it had been keeping, and he tilts his head back and to the side, as if to look at you, but you can only really make out the kind of gleaming of a blue eye. Can I help y'all?
Perhaps. We are looking for someone who goes by the moniker of the Cyclops.
Well, can I ask why?
We're supposed to make a delivery to him. It'll be over in a blink.
And he kind of shifts his weight more towards the look at you. And as he does, this sort of half-giant walks up behind him, hefting a barrel over his shoulder, and his eyes meet yours. One of his eyes is blackened and swollen, as if from a recent fight. And he has a crooked, bloody nose as another indicator.
Dang.
And the guy with the red coat kind of tilts back. Now you just keep moving. I got this for now. So, what are you selling?
Well, it's really more of a straight. As a refresher, were we paid half up front and half on delivery?
Yeah, you got paid up front, and now when you deliver it, you'll get the rest of it.
Okay. We have some. It's mostly just fishing equipment for him.
What kinds? Because I myself am in the market.
Well, we've actually we're under contract. We've been partly paid, but it's nets and the like. Nothing too exotic.
Could I at least take a look at them?
I don't see why not.
He kind of turns and steps over, and his hat kind of pushes up as he opens up the crate. And he's not facing you right now. And from the side, you can see the left side of his face. And he has like a scar that comes down on his cheekbone to his chin. And a bright blue eye that kind of scans the nets inside. Well, these are fine nets. How much would I have to give you for them?
Well, again, they are spoken for. Unless you were our contact, it would probably be our heads anyway.
Is it just you?
No.
Well, I like to make a deal with all parties present. So if you got your business partners here, I'd appreciate them being down here too.
I'll call over Balgroth and Yip Yap.
And of course, we walk over, and I take a good look at the guy. Where did you say that the scar was? Where did you say that the scar was?
It was like on his cheekbone, down to his chin on the left side of his face.
Okay. So it's not his right eye.
As you two walk up, he kind of chuckles and his pointed tail starts to like make a rattling noise, like a rattlesnake, as it twitches. And he turns to face you fully with his hat posted up. And you do see his right eye. There is a very large, long-healed scar, but still very white beneath his kind of dark purplish skin.
Yep, starts tapping Balgroth's shin.
Less purple and more kind of a mauve color. And he chuckles at you. Well, it seems Blink finally came through. Was starting to think the old man up and kicked the bucket.
Huh. I see. 150.
Is that right? I thought it was 50.
Yeah. I thought we'd get to see a real Cyclops, and yet here we are.
Fair enough. And his tail kind of goes up under his coat, grabs a sack, and tosses it to you. 150. And thank you so very much.
A pleasure. Good day.
I step up before we move. I say, hold up.
There was one other thing, yes.
We're
We're supposed to get temple locations, aren't we? Or is that from Blink?
I think that's from Blink.
That was from Blink, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't, Isaiah, you don't know what I'm doing. So I step forward and say, point to the captain over there. That old guy says that you owe him 10 platinum pieces.
Oh, is Karis here already? That's Sea Dog. I'll get him his platinum. Don't you worry. It ain't none of your business now.
Whatever. It's not my problem. And I sort of snort at him, then walk away.
He gives a sharp whistle, and that half giant comes back and lifts up the crates of nets before carrying them onto the ship.
Well, our work here is done. What do we do now?
Well, we have to find. I take out the locust meter, and I ask it which direction Para is.
It spins for a minute and says, it kind of like spins and then slowly comes to a stop. As you remember, it can only answer yes or no questions.
I thought it could point me in directions of stuff. Doesn't it have two functions? Let me check my notes.
Looks at the notes.
It's been a while. If that is the case, you haven't used it for that purpose in a while.
I thought I used it to 2 uses. First use. Oh, landmarks. Okay, not people. Landmarks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is Para in this city?
It spins, and the arrow kind of dissipates into this magic dust before it spells out yes in cursive. And goes back to the spinning arrow.
Well, somewhere in this city.
Didn't you say she also has a spy somewhere in the royal palace?
Yes, and I wouldn't be shocked if certain people at the temple were watching us as well.
I sort of look over to the device you're using. Is the spy still in the king's palace?
I think you have to be attuned to ask it.
Doesn't take orders from you. It doesn't speak Baroque. What did you want me to ask it?
Ask it whether or not the spy is still in the palace.
What he asked was, is the spy still in the palace? I have no riz.
It's a compass, dude. It spins and it spells out yes again.
I don't know. I would have expected that to have changed in retrospect, but well, perhaps we should go to the palace and try to find who it is, Valbrins.
I immediately start moving towards the palace.
Let's drop Sylvester back off at the hotel first.
Balgrath, can you make a strength saving throw for me, please? You're still holding the octopus tank, right?
Was I? Okay.
I don't know if Isaiah ever took it back from you.
You said a strength save?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so of course that'll be a +1 to whatever I do.
We're really good at tensors on that.
19.
So as you're kind of carrying the little tank that Isaiah had given you, you feel it start to shake in your hands as you realize that Sylvester has started spinning very rapidly in place and then slams himself against the glass, but you manage to kind of steady yourself before you can drop it.
Isaiah, your octopus is doing, your squid is doing a thing. Here, take it.
Well,
He shoves it in front of him.
Oh. All right. I'm going to pop a mage hand on the other side to help balance it. Yeah, I guess we'll just walk this thing back. Perhaps there's something in the ocean calling to it.
Really? What do you think? A fishman's calling to it?
Maybe an octopus.
I mean, if I were a fishman looking to wage war against the surface, I would want to build the strongest force I could.
Including this squid that's done nothing?
Yes.
What do you mean done nothing? He almost
So you
killed
say
me.
that, Balgroth, but imagine 1,000 of these octopi cascading as a tsunami onto you. That would be terrifying.
I'd beat them all.
Perhaps.
Imagine if, like, octopi had, like, a human body underneath.
I don't think that's...
It's quite elusive of you.
What?
How would you ever think of that?
I mean, you know, it's like playing with, little toys. You know, you rip the head off of one, you put it on another.
I
don't even want to know. And he just begins walking, just almost without saying a word, just starts walking.
I don't know what you did when you were a kid, but...
Well, I had dirt. And if I ran out of that, there were rocks.
I learned.
And if I ran out of that, there were sticks. And if I ran out of that, there was dust. And if I ran out of that, there were people I could interact with.
But you can't rip the heads off of people and put them on other bodies.
It is certainly frowned upon, Yip Yap. However, you certainly can.
I don't want to hear any of this anymore.
Oh, you know I'm joking, Balgroth. I'm the least murderous of the two of you.
Says the one.
I don't even know what that means.
Says the what?
Says the one making a skin golem.
Who do I murder to make a skin golem?
I'm just saying.
That's all you ever do. You just say.
Oh no, I also riz up queens, but I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
You raised up one queen.
No, 2 of them. Well, a would-be queen. Then she died.
Oh, Balgroth. Go straight from like bragging to the boys to like looking in the distance at the glory of Rome.
Fiddling while Rome burns.
All right, so where do
Just
you
like
guys?
thinking of his dead family. She was so hot.
Okay, so where are y'all going? Are you going
Back
to the hotel?
Back to the hotel to drop off Sylvester.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going back home, Squidward. Play with your clarinet.
Oh, that would be awesome.
What if they
Yeah,
could actually play a clarinet?
Yes. So you all get back to the hotel. You pass by the same things: the stores, the temple, the weird wall, the plaza, and you return with the concierge sort of nodding to you three as you head up to your rooms. And it's pretty much afternoon at this point, mid-afternoon.
Well, we have to figure out some way to get to into the palace area, Balgroth. You're the royal.
I am literally a prince. They will not mind if I go. And if you're with me, then you'll be fine. You're my entourage.
Do you have a prince name, or is it just Prince Balgroth the Dark?
It's Prince Balgroth. I didn't obtain the dark name until they all died.
Do you have a last name? Family name?
Not anyone that you'd care about.
If I'm going to announce you with pomp and circumstance, I should say your full name.
Just call me Balgroth, Prince of the town of Malagrath.
Prince of the town. Okay, there, I can work with that. Balgroth. Do you have any other titles or lands or anything I could add?
Crown Prince, half-orc extraordinaire, hunter of 1,000 deer.
Surrogate father.
Well,
Yeah,
I can
you're
work with
right.
this.
You're right. I guess surrogate king of Glenville.
Wait,
Are you surrogate king? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll add that in there.
Yeah, that works.
I wonder if
I have a few other
like a,
superlatives I can add as well. I will announce you.
Slayer of
superb.
enemies, riser of women.
I wonder if Yip Yap just assumes that Balgroth has a kobold-like name, like Balgroth the Dark.
So would your middle name be the Yip Yap?
Well, no.
His middle name
It's
is
like-
No.
Pedantically, Yip Yap's middle name would be Yap, but really, their given name is that first 2 syllables, and then when some sort of event happens in their life, they get a title based off of it. So, for instance, Yip Yap is losing his tail, so he's Yip Yap no tail.
And there goes the lore. The more you know. And
Or,
noise.
for example, the two that Yip Yap has given names to, there's also Mary No Fear and Stolas Brave One.
Nice. So have you figured out my magnificent titles?
I think I've got most of them down. I think I want one or two more just to add a little bit of that razzle dazzle.
I feel like he's filling in one of those like word story things.
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs.
Libs, fill in the blanks.
I need a plural noun.
I need a noun. I need an adjective that rhymes with Balgroth.
Exactly. We haven't really gotten any really awesome feats yet. So, I mean, I've already rizzed up the queen, so that works. But
Speak for yourself. Yip Yap speaks tip tap wherever he goes.
And he drowned a werewolf once.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry. We're talking about our exalted titles.
Yes.
He has a whole list.
You remember Yip Yap No Tail, Avenger of Speel Kiriga, Stiver of Stab, Stealer of Gold, Drinker of Booze, Drowner of Werewolves, Killer of Rats, Checker of Vibes.
Winner of the death tallies.
Wait, yes, you're right. Winner of the death tallies.
I don't even think he would know what that is, but he just accepts it because it sounds cool.
Winner of tallies.
Oh my god, that's great. I love that joke. I do. So yeah, you try to figure out a way into the palace. Is what you're trying to go for.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't we just like walk into the front door because we've already been made welcome?
True. You remember what? Okay.
That wasn't me.
You remember I'm trying to remember how I pronounced his name. I think it was just Jacoby. Was it
Colby.
Jacob. I remember learning about Jacoby's theorem in a class, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's this one basketball player named Jacoby," but I don't remember his last name.
It wasn't Jacoby.
That's Kobe Bryant.
Not Kobe Bryant. I know who Kobe was.
Okay, I think it was Jacoby. Yeah. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's whatever. You can pronounce a name so many different ways. With the
Jigglebug.
So you remember the prince telling you that they value hospitality here a lot. And he mentioned being able to get you an audience with his grandfather if you asked.
So what I could do is we could ask if we can get an audience with the grandfather, and in fact, he probably won't be able to communicate much, but we should probably see what he knows. Who's the one who generally takes up with him most of the time? Who does he give all of his secrets to? Who does he always see snooping around? That'll probably be the best thing that we see. I'm not sure if we have enough daylight for it, though. What do you guys think?
I mean, I can read minds a little bit, but I can't sweep the whole castle if I have nothing to go on in any sort of reasonable time.
Well, that's
you can
why
read minds? I can't even read words.
Yes, I read everything.
Ooh. Well, except Feast can.
He's got a point there. You can read minds, but you can't understand a simple human language. What a shame.
What?
You can't understand thieves can't, can you?
Well, thieves' cant is more of like lingo and innuendo. It's not a language, Balgroth.
I don't care who you're into. But it's still
He quietly
technically-
adds a title to Balgroth's list that he's going to announce him as.
I don't know if I should be happy or dreadful of you actually being announcing anything. I should probably let Yip Yap do it, but he can't read.
Balgroth, you know that's a terrible idea. Trust me, he'll be fine.
I
I
don't
can read
trust
once
you.
a day.
He can read once a day.
It's like a spoons kind of thing.
I feel like a babysitter. We're good. So what's going to
Why
be
would
our
you put
plan?
on babies?
So what's going to be our plan of attack? We basically go in, request access for an audience. We interrogate the old man for what he's worth, and then we just move on from there.
We don't need to interrogate the. Oh my goodness.
I mean, we
I
can.
use the term interrogate just as a general term.
I mean,
Just for
listen. I
asking
think Yip Yap
questions.
and I can both cast message type things in mind readings, so I think we can communicate without horribleness.
I'm
Yeah,
not
we can.
I'm not intending to torture an old man. I'm a vengeance paladin.
We
not
should
a
at least make the king and the prince aware that there is a betrayer in their midst.
I mean, I'm 100% intending to torture an old man.
Why,
this
Yip
guy.
Yap? Why?
Because
What
he
would you
killed
do?
my dragon.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson,
Listen,
old man?
old man.
Wait. Back
love
up.
the young
Back up.
people.
Back your tail up, Yip Yap.
He
Even though you
has
don't have
none.
one. Back your tailbone up. You're
That's
telling me
rude.
that your all-powerful god, Kirga, the Radiant One, was killed by an old man?
And his friends.
Where's your father now?
Alive. Also,
Just
if an
to
old
be
man's capable of
arranged
killing your god, how are you going to torture him? How are you going to combat him?
with these.
Could you have killed Kirga?
No.
Well, then how are you going to kill the one who killed Kirga?
With your help?
I can't kill a god. Do you know how impressive that would be?
I don't know. Like maybe a lesser version, like a hologram that has like mediocre skills in comparison
And rolls badly consecutively.
and rolls
Listen, luck favors the
badly.
prepared. Don't get me wrong,
The-
but killing a god?
You know, could take a lot more advice on how to tell a story. Anyway,
Yeah, probably their avatar. I really
But
wouldn't
listen,
mind.
even an avatar of a god is well beyond any of our capacity. And
a what?
Speak for yourself.
Balgroth, please. You were beaten by a changeling. I'm going to
I have-
hype you up in front of the prince, but let's not get this twisted.
Sir, I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Listen, we serve the same god, all right? I'm on your side here. But let's not
He's
get
acting
psychotic about it.
in his own image.
Let's
Wait,
be
you're a
grounded.
Tellurian?
Yes.
I completely forgot about that.
So, funny story, you literally ignored me every time I brought it up.
I mean, you kind of talk a lot about this
I'm
guy
gonna-
who
I'm
has
gonna be
millions
honest,
of eyes.
I'm gonna be
so-
honest, that does sound a lot like me. That really
But
does sound
yes,
a lot like
no.
me, point taken.
I'm a worshiper of the Tellurian, yes. So,
That-
listen,
Then that
I'm
means
not
we could take him on.
all I'm saying is, I don't think that an old man and his friends could come and kill the Tellurian.
He's got a point.
I mean, I don't know. Old men are spry sometimes.
He's
You ever
also
met
got a
Nope?
point.
And let me put it like this. If an old man did come in and kill the Tellurian, I would not be in a rush to challenge that person to mortal combat in the hopes of winning and torturing them.
Well,
but
that tells me you don't have enough faith.
But Isaiah, you got to remember, he thinks he's him.
That's true. It's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of There's not even an object of faith at this point.
He thinks
Yes,
he's
there is. What did my hands turn into?
a pain
dragon.
in the neck for a pain in the brain for all of us.
They turned into a dragon. What am I? A dragon? What's Fossil? A dragon?
He's more of a dragon than you are, technically.
His eye is just like on the inside, remembering all his taxonomy lessons and just being like, "Urgh."
I know.
Anyways, we can let this conversation dragon, but I'm pissed. Or we can move on.
I was gonna say we're probably gonna be arguing until nightfall.
Yes, yep. I guess my point really should have been vengeance is a terribly dark road to go on that is not fruitful.
My heart is black with mold from alcohol and desire to murder.
Yeah, I like this guy. I'm
Well,
glad we come around.
Did you-
I mean, his his brain might not be working, but his one-liners are great.
Oh my goodness, Balgroth. I sort of like. Don't you think there might have been a reason people would have attacked local kobold bandits and a dragon?
Yep, starts drinking.
Because he's a dragon.
I mean, look, not to crassly. Yip Yap's a criminal. He probably robbed those people at some point.
No, our beef was always with the goblins. They stole our beef.
I mean, he took his food.
And that was wrong. That was wrong.
That's grounds for vengeance.
Yes.
I mean, you're trying to explain that vengeance should not be taken by a paladin of vengeance.
Okay, I'm not saying vengeance shouldn't ever be taken, but I'm not sure it should be taken in such a psychotic manner.
We're literally the hands of I don't even know the meaning of that word.
No, don't worry. We'll probably get strong enough. Trust me.
I've come a long way since I was a young kobold. Okay?
It's been like a month.
Longer.
We did a lot of stuff in under a month.
You met me only so long ago, but I've been alive for a good while.
I mean, we've rescued princes in that amount of time.
No,
We've upset the balance of power.
I know, and some of us have been captured and gotten out of capture. It's quite impressive what we've accomplished and how far we've come, but I just don't think we're at God-slaying level at this point.
Yet, at this point.
Perhaps. Now, remind me, Balroth, do we know who killed your people? Was it the goblins?
The goblins.
Filthy goblins is.
The Goblin King specifically. If I know, it's the Goblin King, one of our neighboring cities. So he specifically will be the last to die and the longest one to die.
You remind me of the kobold. What kobold? The kobold with power. What power?
Well, let's just call it a night for now.
All right. We'll begin our plan in the morning then. Yip yap.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Oh.
I didn't know that'd work. So which room are we in? Probably in Isaiah's room because we were dropping off the freaking squid.
Now you have a sleeping kobold on your floor, Isaiah. And he is dead asleep.
I feed him to the octopus. No,
Fossil hisses at you as you approach.
Ooh, I could feed Fossil to the octopus and no one would ever know.
Fossil hisses
I'll
louder.
steal it. No one will ever know. I'll take Yip Yap into his room.
Fossil.
I mean, he can sleep on the
nuzzles
floor. It's
again.
fine.
Fossil nuzzles against you and purrs as you
So
take
this-
you up.
So this octopus is from a colder climate, the guy said?
What guy?
At the docks, he's like, don't put it here because this is a warm place. He's
Oh,
from
yeah,
a
the
cold
guard
place,
guy.
so he'll ruin the ecosystem.
He
The guard
said it
guy.
looked like it was from a cold place because your octopus is pale white.
I'd like to freeze like a little bit of the water and see how, and like, so it will become colder. See how he takes it.
Isn't it like right beside the dragon egg?
I mean, yeah.
You should have.
When you zap the small bit of water in his tank, Sylvester kind of like twitches away from it and then just kind of goes back to idly moving around in his space. He doesn't seem that much affected by it other than that it just kind of shocked him when you did it.
Interesting. I'll zap the egg real quick and then,
Sick.
yeah. And then, ooh, you know what I'll do with the rest of my time tonight? Where's Cortez?
He is up where you put him, which I think is on your bedside table or something.
We're gonna make a flesh golem with Cortez.
Oh my goodness, no! At least do it when I'm not in the room.
Bolgroth, I need your help.
No.
Take this charcoal and draw 7 pentagrams. No, that's not part of the ritual. Don't worry. But I want you to help with this so we can record it for research.
Why? Why me?
But you're the only other one here.
But I don't want to.
You have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I do. Sleep.
Oh my goodness. It's not late enough to sleep.
And you got a point.
Listen, just hold this for me. And I give him a big thing of flesh. No, I'm just kidding.
I have this.
Yeah. Give him like a giant tube of skin.
Oh, gosh. Fine, whatever. What do you want me to do?
I want to perform this ritual right now.
Why?
I want to see what happens.
So, okay. I'm reading over it really quick just to catch myself up.
If I'm going to have to kill this thing, it's your fault.
No.
Okay, so Isaiah, Balgroth, you are helping Isaiah.
Yeah, I guess so. Reluctantly.
So he hands you the charcoal and you start to draw out the sigil. It's not a pentagram, it's a sigil. Does Isaiah, well, it is written down. Do you remember the incantation?
Will you give me the exact words?
Yeah, I did.
I can probably find them somewhere. Can you just send them to me again?
Yeah.
Swiggity. You can even put them in the chat if you want everyone to see them.
Okay, I'll do that.
Bubble,
And yep, you are asleep for this.
Okay.
Swiggity swooty? That's a strange way to start off. Oh, this is... Wow. All right. He sort of gets all serious. In fact, let me just darken my area real quick.
He casts darkness.
Yeah, all right. So, take over the flesh. Give me rest. Lessen my strife. And give me your life.
As you finish saying these words, with the book open onto the page of the summoning, a gray fog exudes from the pages, the worn pages of this book, and they swirl over the sigil into this sort of cloudy ball. and then it shoots itself towards Balgroth and latches onto his face. And Balgroth screams in pain and agony as the fog begins to sear his face. An acid-like stinge melting back past his muscles and skeleton and brain as his body twitches and falls to the ground, the fog disappearing down his neck as his body starts to deflate. And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight.
Pardon?
We have fun here.
Hey, little Timmy, what do you want me to read you for bedtime?
Thank you all for playing this week.
The what?
And thank you
Kids,
all for
sometimes
watching.
science
And I will
doesn't go the
see
way
you
that you
all
think,
next
but sometimes that's okay because we learned something new, and that's what counts.